In this video, I wanted to walk you through the actual waterfall report. So this waterfall report is provided as a sample to the course material, but I wanted to kind of show it to you just so rather than just giving you the file and letting you figure it out, to actually help walk you through it. So typically this is built in Excel, and again, it's not a standard financial report, so you don't see these too often. So if you're not familiar with it, that's okay. We're gonna help you out, and hopefully it'll make sense once we're done. So all we've done is well, here, I'll walk you through it first. So up here you see budget and actual results. So budget is in green, which is this top line right here, and actual results will be the yellow numbers here. So I should mention that the budget is actually the initial budget that's complete. So it's not revisions that we're going to make, and I'll show you how we do those. So originally in January we forecasted 117 and some money, then February 132, etc. So we have the word operating plan, and I might notice also this is revenue. So this is the revenue piece, and you can build a waterfall report for any aspect. You could do it for operating expenses, you could do it for net income, gross profit, whatever it might be. Typically revenues is a good one to start with though. So we have our operating plan or our budget, which were these numbers. So 161, 274, etc. for the entire year. Over here we have quarter one, quarter two, etc., and year to date. So this will be your entire year, your quarters, and then each month. We're only going to worry about the monthly part because these will populate automatically if it's built correctly. Then what happens is you go through your first month, and in the month of January our actual results right here were $100,000. So we'd originally budgeted for 117 in revenues, we only got 100. So what you do in a kind of a dynamic startup environment is you reforecast a lot of the times. So what we've done is we've reforecasted. We reforecasted February to 120, March to 150, etc. down the line. So if you can see, the purpose of this report is that we enter our actual results for a month, and then we say, well, let's reforecast. But you don't lose sight of what the original forecast was. The original forecast was 132, and now we've changed it to 120. Same thing for March and onwards. 161, we've reduced it to 150. You can also look over here. And at any given point, so this first line here that's not in green is the month of January. You say, well, this is quarter one. It includes the actual January and then the revised forecast for February and for March. And then these would be also the revised forecast for Q2, 3, 4, etc. So again, on a year-to-date basis, you can see how this trends. So on a monthly, first month basis, it's not too exciting. But as you get down this waterfall and you start entering actual results and reforecasting and actual results and reforecasting, you really see a trend then, and you'll be able to tell, are your forecasts going down further and further and further each time, or is there some trend that you can analyze? Is there something you need to be doing? So there's a lot of options you can do with this report. Like I said, you oftentimes will. Oh, I'll mention too, this whole area in here will just remain blank. So you're continually entering your actual results in the yellow cells and then forecasting forward to the right the new results. Anything over here is just left blank. You can hopefully see where the report gets its name from, the waterfall report. It has this kind of cascading style, if you will. And typically, and I eliminated the other ones, but you would do this for several line items. So you would do it for your cost of goods sold, maybe your gross profit, which would fall out of those two, and maybe any big ticket expense items or your expenses as a whole. And then you could subsequently also have a net income one. And really, you could have ones like this, where it's basically a full-on P&L. So you could have your revenue, cost of goods sold, your gross profit waterfall will calculate automatically. You would have your operating expenses, which you would put in a waterfall report, and then your net income, which would also then calculate automatically. And again, at the end of the year, you can look back then. So imagine this is completely populated. You'll be able to see. You start off with 554, it went down to 550. If this continued to go down, and by November you were forecasting only 400,000, well, what's the lesson learned? Why was the original forecast 550,000 and now it's down to 400,000 here? Something wasn't done right, and you can use these lessons learned going forward for the next year when you're building your forecast. So it's not just about seeing how things have changed. It's about then using that information and the lessons learned and deciding how you can best use them going forward. So that's a waterfall report in a nutshell. Again, this file is provided to you. Certainly easy to recreate in Microsoft Excel. And if you're in kind of that startup environment, I'd encourage you to implement something like this so you can track your budget changes.